Plants are healthy most of the time, but the life of a plant is not all sunshine and raindrops. There is bacteria in the air, fungi in the soil, and hungry insects waiting to munch on the poor unsuspecting plant. How is it then, if plants don't have eyes, and they can't run away, how do they see what's coming for them, and how can they defend themselves? Plants have receptors on the cell surface, which kind of act like nerves in human skin. When something touches a human, they feel it and it sends a message to the brain. It's kind of similar for plants. The plant senses and detects the pathogen through proteins contained in the pathogen's body parts, and a chemical alarm is sounded throughout the plant. Examples of the proteins are flagella in bacteria, the squiggly tails that help them move, and the proteins that make up cell walls of fungi called chitin. The proteins are called pathogen-associated molecular patterns, or PAMPs. Most pathogens generally have PAMPs, which act like bright flashing lights that let the plant know the pathogens are there. When a pathogen comes in contact with the plant cell, the plant detects it by the bright flashing PAMPs, and chemical hormones are triggered which act as alarms, signaling to the rest of the plant of the pathogen's attack. This then triggers an immune response called PAMP-triggered immunity, or PTI for short. PTI beefs up the plant's defense mechanisms through thickening of the plant cell walls and producing antimicrobial compounds. However, this first line of defense is not always enough to stop all pathogens. Some pathogens have disease-causing proteins called effectors, which they can inject into the plant cell, bypassing the thick skin and antimicrobial compounds. In order to stop these heavy-duty pathogens, the plant needs to be able to recognize these effectors, and they do this through resistance proteins. For recognition to occur, the plant needs to have specific resistance proteins that detect a specific pathogen effector. That is, if the pathogen has an effector that the plant can't recognize, then the plant becomes infected. If the pathogen is unlucky enough to have an effector that can be recognized by the plant, then a second immune response is triggered, called effector-triggered immune response, or ETI. The ETI response triggers the cells around where the pathogen has injected its effectors to die, and the disease can't be spread. Further signaling occurs, and the plant then accumulates antimicrobial compounds throughout the whole plant, making it resistant to the pathogen's attack. This is known as the systemic acquired response. The systemic acquired response also gives the plant immunity for a number of days and makes it much harder for the pathogen to attack next time, and the plant remains healthy. So plants might not have eyes, but they can still detect pathogens through receptors on and in their cells, and have ways of defending themselves, remaining healthy, well, most of the time.